We are here at the O.P. Jindal Global University and Upgrades event where they're talking about online education. Joining us is the MD and CEO of HDFC Asset Management Company. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity at NDTV Profit, sir.
Pleasure.
I understand the summit is about education, but I wanted to divert from that and speak to you about equity markets. Given that the current situation we are in, where do you see the equity markets are headed? Is it a temporary exuberance given that, April has been a strong month?
Sure, because the event is about education for which I've come here. I will connect education with the markets, and what I spoke there that for a long period of time, our markets have been vulnerable to the global flows, to flows from the global investors. But over the last couple of years, we have seen significant participation from domestic investors, and that's been providing more stability to the markets. Markets are not as vulnerable to global developments as they used to be in past, and I think the continuing interest by domestic investors putting money in a disciplined manner in the form of SIPs has really been helping. The global environment is quite challenging, is very uncertain, as everybody would be following, but I think India has got political stability, social stability, macroeconomic stability, and financial stability like no other place. And I'm very sure that over a longer period of time, investors who keep the faith in India's story will be well rewarded.
Okay. Sir, in terms of, retail investors, I wanted to understand if you could just help us throw in, some strategies as to, how should retail investors approach markets given, the global uncertainty that we are in and, the risk that it comes with?
No, of course, markets may remain volatile given the global environment, but as I mentioned that India's macroeconomic fundamentals are strong, and over a period of time, as India continues to grow, the best way to participate is through investing in a disciplined manner, keep the faith in the long-term growth potential of India, and invest in a disciplined manner, invest in consistently through a mode like systematic investment plan. This is what from our association, MFI, we have been trying to spread the message that it's the time in the market and not the timing in the market that will decide your returns. And it's important that through these ups and downs, through the volatility of the market, it's important to remain very disciplined. Not get swayed by the volatility.
Okay. Sir, any particular, funds where you are seeing flows coming in? I mean, we saw, a slew of correction, in the earlier part of this year. But now again, market is, seem to have gained some sort of momentum. But again, there's a lot of volatility, as you mentioned. But any particular fund, or space where you see flows coming in?
More important for each investor would be to understand their financial needs, the goals for which they are investing, doing the right asset allocation, and then choosing the funds, not the other way around. And I think one must take the help of a advisor or a mutual fund distributor to create a right kind of portfolio. It's very important to have a right asset allocation. One should invest across different asset classes, equities, fixed income, and gold. We have seen at various points in time, different asset classes do well, and a diversification is like the best tool to ensure that you earn returns on a you earn better returns on a risk-adjusted basis. And I think it should be the goal for which you are investing is more important than the fund for which you are, the fund that you are choosing.
Correct. Speaking of diversification, I mean, a slew of retail investors were also moving towards the F&O space. There have been a lot of hue and cry about it, from past 1 year or so. Recently, a veteran investor, came out and said that, it should not, retail investors basically, are treating this F&O space as, as a gambling point instead of, investing strategically. So do you think, he also brought up the point of, whether access should come with license, not just login. Any thoughts on that?
So I'm sure everybody is aware of the SEBI study that 93% people, if I remember correctly, as per that study, lose money in the F&O market, while there are a handful of investors who end up making money. It's not an easy game. This is not the way to create wealth over a long period of time. This is not the way to create your retirement security. I always mention that the formula for wealth creation is sound investment plus time plus patience. You need to make sound investment, give it a lot of time, and be patient across market cycles. And by following that and using a simplified instrument like doing an SIP in a mutual fund is so easy, so simple.
Correct.
And now technology has made it very, very easy to access. And I think that's the best way to create wealth rather than trying many other things that you just mentioned. But I'll just make one point. When people talk about the rising interest in F&O or participating in the equity market, or one can extend that to even the interest in gaming, I think what it shows is a big societal transformation, that people have a lot more aspiration. People's risk appetite is high. Why is that? Because they have a more optimistic view about the future, that India would do well and people want to create wealth. They're trying many things at this point in time, but ultimately, I strongly believe that there is only one formula. There is only one formula, and that I created this acronym STP, which is sound investment, time, and patience.
So one last question. With the rise in AI and there are also these climate funds that are coming in, or EVs, I wanted to understand, is HDFC AMC looking at launching any new funds in term along these lines?
So, I mean, of course, we have certain sector and thematic funds, but I would always urge an investor, a new investor, should start with either a large cap fund or a diversified equity fund like a flexi cap fund, where a fund manager has an ability to move across market caps, across sectors, across themes. It's better to invest through those kind of funds and participate in the growth story rather than choosing a narrow fund. I mean, if an investor has got a full portfolio of like equity funds and want to participate on a tactical basis, a small amount in a sector and thematic fund, that's okay. But a larger proportion of the portfolio should be in a fund like flexi cap fund.
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us the opportunity.